Hi there, my name is Sharika Matthews, life engineer and relationship coach at Live Life Beyond Barriers. My purpose and my passion each and every time I show up is to equip and to empower you with the information and the inspiration that you need so that you can experience a transformation in your life and in your relationships. I want to thank you for joining me on this video today as we discuss the differences between a setback, a distraction, and a redirection. Because let's face it, we are all going to experience some sort of challenge in our life, some sort of obstacle, or something of the nature if you're not already experiencing them right now. And so it is vitally important that we understand the difference between the three because it dictates how we're going to respond and how we're going to overcome those particular challenges. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is a setback. A setback is defined as a reversal to progress or a defeat. So let's think about that. A reversal to progress, meaning progress is forward movement, right? And so a reversal to progress is going to be the opposite of that. It's going to be backwards movement, something that pushes you away from your goals, away from your dreams, away from your destination. And so an example of a setback could be unexpected medical bills came up that uses your financial resources that you were going to invest in your business or invest in buying a house or invest in personal development. Another example of a setback could be a divorce that leaves you heartbroken and feelings of despair and gives you the feeling that you will never find love again. Those are examples of setbacks. And the whole purpose of a setback isn't just to push you in the other direction, but it's usually an attack on your internal belief. It's an attack on your faith in believing that you can truly attain what it is that you've been promised by God, or you can truly attain what it is that you're going after. So it's not just something that attacks your finances or attacks your health. It attacks your internal belief system, because once a setback can attack your internal belief system, then it reduces the possibility that you'll actually take corrective action. It reduces the possibility that you'll actually do what you need to do to go after what it is that you truly want. The Bible calls a setback simply the enemy. And the enemy, what does the Bible say about the enemy? The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. It comes to kill your dreams, steal your joy, and destroy your future. So what can you do to overcome setbacks? I have 5 things that I want to share with you that you can do to overcome these setbacks. The first thing you can do to overcome your setback is to remember your goals and your dreams and why they are important to you. Because here's the thing about that. If God gave you a dream, if God gave you a vision, then you know that God can make it happen. God is not a man that he can lie. God is not going to give you a dream, give you a passion, give you a vision that he has no intention of bringing to fruition. Number 2, remember that setbacks are temporary if you let it. Here's the thing, when it comes to setbacks, like I said, setbacks attack your internal beliefs. It attacks your faith. And if you are not well guarded, if you are not strong in your faith, if you are not aware that what you're experiencing is a setback or an attack on your faith, then the temporary setback that you're experiencing can become permanent because you have not recognized it as temporary. You have not positioned yourself to fight against it with the right tools. And so you have to remember, you have to go after what you want in spite of those setbacks. You have to push through. Because once you get in your mind that it is temporary, that it's not permanent, then that lets you know that I can overcome this. Remember that God would not put more on you than what you can bear. And with every temptation, he provides a way out so that you can stand up under it. So again, it's just temporary, but you have got to recognize it is temporary and push yourself to push through it. Number 3, remember the past and what you know to be true. Because if you are an adult above the age of 21, you have experienced at least a couple of challenges in your life. You have experienced a couple of victories in your life. So, like they say, your past successes are going to be an indicator of future successes. So remember the challenges that you overcome thus far. It could be overcoming a challenge in school, that you graduated high school, you graduated college, when you were able to break through a male-dominated field. Remember the challenges of when you had trouble paying your bills. Remember the challenges that you had in your health. And now that you're here, healthy, alive, still strong, still going forward. Remember the successes that you've had in the past, and remember what you know to be true. Remember that you know that God will not give you a vision that he does not intend to bring forth. Remember that you are stronger than what you know. Remember that you have the gift of the Holy Spirit within you, which is the gift of strength, the gift of self-discipline, and the gift of love. Remember what it is that you know to be true and stand on those truths. Use your words to repeat those truths back to you to encourage yourself so that you can build up yourself to keep pushing past those setbacks. Number 4, find an alternative way, even if it's uncomfortable. And this is one of the places that a lot of us get stuck. We want solutions to our problems, but we only want solutions that feel good. But here's the thing, not all solutions feel good. Some solutions are going to be uncomfortable. So for example, let's use the example of experiencing a financial setback. You had an unexpected medical bill, and now you need an additional $700 by the end of the month. What's the solution? What can you do? A solution could be to get a second job. A solution could be to sell something, to sell your TV, or to get rid of cable, or sell your clothes, have a garage sale, or sell your car. There are solutions to your problems, but some of your solutions are not going to be easy, but they will be necessary in order to reverse the setback. Because remember, a setback is a reversal in progress. So now you need to reverse that reversal to get you back in forward moving momentum towards your goal. So number 1, is your goal that important to you that you're willing to be temporarily uncomfortable in order to get yourself back on track? And remember that being uncomfortable is not the end of the world. Being uncomfortable is simply saying, I am stepping outside of my comfort zone so that I can grow, so that I can achieve the big vision that God has for me, so I can achieve the big goal that's set forth in front of me. So are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to go after the solution? Because another thing I want you to remember is that there are no surprises for God. So God knew that the challenge that you're facing right now, that you were going to face it before you even got to it. God also already has a solution prepared for you. But are you willing to go after that solution? And number 5, remember that there is always a way through, a way over, a way under, a way around any obstacle that's in front of you. But you've got to be persistent in going after it. Because again, that setback is coming to kill, to steal, and destroy. And the only way that you're going to get through it is to persist, is to find a way around it, over it, under it, through it. Because if you don't, that setback will become permanent and you will never achieve what it is that you're going after. So be persistent and know and remind yourself that if going to the left doesn't work, go to the right. If going to the right doesn't work, go up and over. If going up and over don't work, then go under. If going under don't work, get you some dynamite and blow your way through. Not literally, of course, but figuratively. Do what you got to do to get around this setback, to get over this setback, to get back on track to what it is that you're going after. So now, let's talk about a distraction. What is a distraction? A distraction is something that draws you away from your goal to disturb or greatly trouble in mind. And I want you to remember that, to disturb or greatly trouble in mind. So a distraction, in other words, is something that doesn't necessarily pull you completely away from your goal, but what it does is it blurs your vision. It distracts your mind. It clouds your thinking so that your progress towards that goal is slower than what it needs to be. You may temporarily veer off to the right or veer off to the left. And if you're not careful, you'll never get back on track. And distractions are things that we deal with on a daily basis. If you're a mother, sometimes your kids can be a distraction. Remember, distractions aren't always negative things. Distractions can just be simply life events. Having a child, getting married, your car breaking down and you having to go buy a new car. Or distractions can simply be negative things as well. So I'll give you an example. I experienced, oh my gosh, several months ago, I experienced like a number of distractions back to back to back. As many of you know, I am a coach. And so my house and my home office was flooded several months ago. And actually, my whole house was flooded several months ago. And it caused me to be displaced from my home for almost 2 months. And at the same day that my house was flooded, I actually had an accident, a physical accident where I fell, twisted my right ankle and hurt my left knee. So both legs were hurt. Then all of a sudden my house floods. And this happened in the busiest month for my business. Talk about a distraction. And this distraction really came to discourage me, because if I had not been careful, or if I had not recognized that this was a distraction to blur my vision, to cause me to slow down from going after what it is I'm going after, then I could have veered off to the right and never gotten back on track. I could have veered off to the right and gotten so discouraged because I was so focused on my house, so focused on my injured knee, so focused on my injured ankle, that I would have stayed in this place for far too long. And the momentum that I was building up in my personal life, the momentum I was building up in my professional life would have slowed down and caused me to start all the way back over. And that's what I mean by a distraction. A distraction just kind of takes you off of your path temporarily. It should be temporary. But even though you still have your vision, your goal in mind, it simply blurs your vision. It causes you to think, man, should I really be going after this? Man, is this really the right time? Another thing that could be a distraction that a lot of us don't really talk about are romantic relationships. And this is especially true if you are in a relationship at the wrong time with the wrong person. I think this is why Paul in the Bible tells us that sometimes he wished that everybody was like him and remain single, so that we can stay focused on serving God, stay focused on our goals, stay focused on the vision that God has given us. Not saying that romantic relationships are bad, but if you're not careful, it can distract you from the calling on your life. It can distract you from achieving your goals. And it's only because that romantic relationships, require an investment of time and energy. And you only have 24 hours a day, 168 hours in a week. So when someone new comes into your life, some of that extra time and energy that was focused elsewhere now goes to him. So it's a matter of remembering what's important to you, helping your new romantic partner understand what's important to you so that he can support you. And that's why it's very important for you to select the right partner when you are going after a purpose, when you're going after a goal, because you want to partner with people who will support you in this, so that they don't become a distraction, call you away from what it is that you've been called to do. So what do you do if you're faced with a distraction? How do you recognize, now that you know how to recognize a distraction, what do you do to kind of get yourself back on track? I have 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself when you're faced with a distraction. The first question is, how has my focus on my goal to be married, to raise $5,000, or whatever your goal is, how has your focus on your goal been decreased since this person or this incident has happened in my life? The second question, what underlying desire did this distraction appeal to that allowed me to get pulled away so easily? Every distraction that happens appeals to something in your life. When my house flooded, it appealed to an underlying fear, and it appealed to my underlying desire for stability and safety. So, what desire is this person or this incident appealing to that has allowed you to get distracted so easily? The third question: how can I fulfill this underlying desire while keeping my intensity and focus on my goal? And number 4, if I cannot fulfill both, which one is more important to me? And this one takes some real soul searching. What is more important to me? In my case, I had to decide, is it more important for me to feel secure and safe? Or is it more important for me to pursue my goal? And I chose my goal because I know that my goal and my vision will provide the security and the safety that I truly desire. So now that you have the answers to these 4 questions, what do you do next? It's quite simple. Take action and refocus. Last but not least, let's talk about a redirection. What's a redirection? A redirection is defined as something that changes your path or direction, but doesn't take you away from your end goal. And this is something that I have been resistant to. Some of the clients that I've worked with have been resistant to. But a lot of times we're resistant to a redirection, especially one from God, because God is the one who actually redirects our path, right? He redirects our steps. But we are so resistant to a redirection. It's because we are emotionally and mentally attached to the how. So God has given us this vision, right? God has given you a vision of being married and having a family, or he's giving you a vision of being a business owner. He's giving you a vision of traveling the world. He's giving you a vision of going on a mission trip, right? He's giving you this vision. But now you have created the steps that you believe that you need to take to attain that vision. And there's nothing wrong with planning. God tells you to count the costs, right? But God's ways are better than our ways. God's plans are better than our plans. And so there will be times where God will redirect us because he needs us to learn something. He needs us to experience something. He needs us to take a different path for a specific purpose in order to get to where it is that we want to go. But we are resistant to it because we are attached to the how. And I like to say this saying here: let go of the how and learn to allow. When you know that God's ways are better than your ways, when you know that God's plans are better than your plans, you have to trust him. You have to learn to allow him to guide you down the best pathway for your life. You have to allow him to go before you, make your crooked places straight. You have to allow him to redirect you when he sees you going in the wrong direction, to put you back on the right path. You have to allow and let go of the steps that you created in your own mind. I used to be really, really bad at that. I used to be that girl because my background is in engineering. So I used to be that girl who would go out and write all my plans down. I would write it all down, type it all up, put in a nice 3-ring binder, nice cover, present it to God. Like, okay, God, here are my plans. Bless my plans. That's not how it always works. God does appreciate your plans. God does appreciate you, thinking about the steps it's going to take, but also allow God to correct them. Because when you do, you'll experience a greater peace. You'll get the experiences that you need in order to deepen your faith. You'll get the experiences that you need in order to build your courage. Because you need the faith, you need the courage, you need the different experiences to sustain where it is that you're going. Because it's not just about you getting to your final destination quickly or even easily. It's about you sustaining that when you get there. I want you to think about the children of Israel. They were freed from the Egyptian slavery, and they traveled 40 years. Part of it was punishment, but part of it was a preparation. So when they get to the promised land, you would expect that after 40 years, you could just walk in there like, yay, land of milk and honey, and everything's fine, everything's great, we can relax now. But God is like, okay, we made it to the promised land. Now you still got to fight your giants. You still got to fight your enemies in order to conquer the promised land so that you can sustain it. Because even when the children of Israel was able to conquer their promised land, conquer the enemies, they still had to fight to maintain it. And that's the thing we don't think about very often, is that you even when you attain your marriage, when you attain your finance, you attain the business, there's still a certain level of fighting that you're going to have to do to maintain what it is that you've been blessed with. But in order to fight for it, you have to build up your courage. You have to build up your strength. You have to build up your discipline. And you build up your courage, your strength, your faith, and your discipline in the journey to getting to where it is you want to go. So you have to allow God to redirect you in order for you to get the experiences that you need to sustain where it is that you're going. So how do you do this? What do you do when you are experiencing a redirection and your first instinct is to resist it? Well, the first thing you want to do is don't resist. Just simply, like they say, go with the flow. Like, all right, God, well, for example, you have a car accident, right? And the car accident couldn't come at a worse time, where you don't have a job, you're in the process of saving $500 or $5,000. So you have this car accident. And so now the insurance company totals out your car, right? And they give you a check for $5,000. Now, a redirection in this is simply, okay, God has redirected your path by taking away the car so that you can have the finances you need to cover your medical bills, to cover your house note, to cover investing in your business. Not exactly how you would have done things, right? You would not have totaled your car in order to get the money you need to invest in your business or to cover your bills, but it happened. And so that's what I mean by a redirection. Go with the flow. Thank God for the provision. Thank God for the protection. Go with the flow and go with the new plan, knowing that God has already seen your end, knowing that God has a purpose in everything. So go with the flow and relax in His peace, knowing that God has your best interest at heart. He truly does. So just go with it and trust God. Trust God in the process, because again, His ways are higher than our ways. His plans are better than our plans. And so when He begins to tweak your plan and tweak your process and take you down a different pathway, simply trust Him, because God has no intentions of bringing you harm. He has every intention of prospering you. He has every intention of protecting you. He has every intention of providing for you if you let Him. So now we need to take a look at you. What challenges are you facing right now? What challenges are you facing in your life? What challenges are you facing in your finances? What challenges are you facing in your career? What challenges are you facing in your relationships? Are they a setback? Are they a distraction? Or is God simply redirecting your path? Take some time and really evaluate this and apply the tools and the steps I've given you so that you can apply them and overcome them successfully. Because here's the other thing that I want you to remember. To successfully overcome any setback, any distraction, or any redirection in your life, you have to have courage. You have to have discipline. You have to be determined to win. You have to be determined to overcome, and you have to have accountability. So if you are in this process in your life right now, we're experiencing a setback or a distraction or a redirection, and you need some additional help in getting over, you need some additional help in really identifying what it is that you're experiencing, let's have a conversation. I am actually looking to work with 5 additional women this month to help you overcome these challenges and these setbacks, because God has a vision for you that He does not want you to give up on. God already has a solution to every challenge that you're facing right now. And I am here to help you overcome those problems. So if you are in a position right now where you're ready to commit to the process, you're ready to be persistent in getting to your goal, getting to your vision, and accomplishing all that God has called you to be, to do, and to have, I want you to apply for a free discovery call with me. In this discovery call, we're going to discuss where you are right now, what challenges you're facing, and how I can help you overcome it. Because here's the thing I really want you to remember. If you could have done it by yourself, you would have done it by now, it should be told. And that's the part of our ego that we have really yet to overcome, really have yet, not to just really overcome, but to rein in. Because our ego will tell us that I can do it on my own, I can do it myself. But here's the thing, if God intended for us to do everything by ourselves, He would have created us one person at a time. We would have been in existence one person at a time. But God has created us in communities with different talents, with different gifts, with different roles, so that we can all support each other in accomplishing our God-given dreams and accomplishing our God-given purposes. And that's what I'm here to do. I am here to support you, to give you the coaching, to give you the guidance, to give you the mentoring that you need to be, do, and have that God has intended for you to be, do, and have. So if you're looking for a coach, you're looking for a mentor in life, I invite you to apply for a free discovery call right now. All you got to do is scroll down here, fill out the application, and make your appointment with me. And let's discuss how I could best serve you in helping you overcome your setbacks, your challenges, and your redirections. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me for this video. If you have any questions about anything I've said here today, send me an email to sm@livelifebeyondbarriers.com. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.